Hey, what's up, it's iCkEdMeL. Welcome to the channel. Thank you for stopping by. And I was laying down and I checked one of my notifications, and apparently there's an update with regards to Marisela Botello. There's new details that's come out regarding the case and what happened that night, according to Charles Beltran. And before we get into that, there's a couple of things that have been going on behind the scenes with that. So first of all, one of the things I'm hearing today is that Nina, she has gotten out of custody. I don't know what that means. I haven't seen it confirmed in the news, but a person sent me this, that she's out of custody. Let me show you another image here as well. Out of custody, okay. I don't know what that means, but for me personally, it makes me want to put out that Bill Marano story. And by the way, if you don't know the Marisela Botello story, or Nina Marano, or Charles Beltran, or Lisa Dykes, and you're confused and you want a picture to put to the names, I made this video that took me a lot of time, hours, and YouTube demonetized it. So go and check out that video. I am going to read this article to you guys, and so that will familiarize and kind of re-jog your memory. But definitely go check out the other video if you don't know what's going on. But with Bill Marano, because the thing is, if Nina is out, and when I say I don't know what that means, I mean, is she talking? Did she bond or whatever? Or is she just being transferred somewhere? What is going on with that? That's what I mean when I say I don't know what that means. And so let's get started with the article. You guys comment below, let me know your thoughts. And the thing is too, is if she's trying to slip and slide her way out of this, like she slipped and slide out of a lot of things in her life, I feel like I want to bring in that Bill Marano story to kind of haul in a little bit of what her character really is. Things like, while she was married to this guy Bill Marano, she cheated on somebody in his own family, his son, right? We could talk about things like that. We can go back into the history, and just some of the character, because the whole Bill Marano thing is something that's kind of outside of this. Nina, Charles, and Lisa are on the inside, and Bill is an extension of Nina. And so, I don't know. It's kind of complicated. We'll see if we ever get there, but let's get to the article. So this is the beginning of the article by DallasNews.com, and I can't lie, I was half tempted to just hit play and let this robot read to you guys.
Alice, Charles, and...
But I'm like, no. I'm horrible at the reading thing, but I'm like, let me just do it. And at the bottom, it gets to the new details, or around somewhere in here, it gets to the new details pretty close on in. And so 2 women arrested in the slaying of the Seattle woman who disappeared in Dallas faces new charges, and court documents reveal additional details about the case. Authorities filed 1 count each of tampering with or fabricating physical evidence against Lisa Dykes and Nina Marano earlier this month in the connection with the death of Marisela Botello-Valdez, court records show. The woman, along with Charles Beltran, also faced 1 count each of capital murder. According to the new affidavit, Beltran told police he brought the 23-year-old woman home but fled after he woke up as one of the other women was attacking her with a knife, which is interesting because of if you watch any of the other videos, we've spoken a little bit about these women's characters. They were in a throuple, and Lisa was particularly jealous, and possible, but at the same time, we got to look at this as he's going to try to not take any responsibility. So I don't know how true this is. An attorney who was representing Dykes and Marano, does that mean, so I guess she's representing both of them? They both have the same representation. Valerie Baston declined to comment on the allegations Thursday and said that she and her co-counsel were waiting to be provided with evidence in the case so they could vigorously defend our clients. That's interesting. Beltran's lawyer did not respond to requests for comment. Botello was visiting a friend in Dallas. We know this whole story. We've kind of gone over this, and so I don't think I need to read all of this, but she was visiting a friend, and she went out that night, October 4th, in Deep Ellum. There was security video footage that we talked about and we showed on this channel, and her friend became worried there was no activity in her cell phone accounts. Botello's body was found March 24th in a wooded area near East Beltline and Post Oak Roads in Wilmer, southern Dallas County. If you watch the previous video, I showed the map and the whole area and some of the locations and stuff. Cell phone records, DNA. Police identified Beltran as a person of interest in the case soon after Botello vanished, saying that neither he nor his car had been seen since the night. An arrest warrant affidavit authorities wrote that cell phone records put Botello with all three suspects at the Mesquite home that Beltran and Dykes shared, the 3113 address, on the day she disappeared. Phone records also showed Dykes and Marano leaving the home and driving to a wooded area near Hutchins that was close to several bodies of water before returning, police said. When authorities searched the home, they discovered that the carpets had been cleaned, the affidavit says, but red and brown streaks beneath the carpet appeared to be blood and were later found to match Botello's DNA. Police also said that Beltran's car was recovered in New York and they planned to test for hair in his trunk to see whether it was a match for Botello. An affidavit says that the three suspects displayed a pattern of avoidance during the investigation, refusing to speak to detectives. This is all stuff we've covered and spoke about on the channel, so I don't want to harp on it too much. Marano and Dykes were arrested separately in Florida in late March, and they both invoked their right to remain silent. Beltran was taken into custody in Utah April 2nd and spoke to authorities the following day. This is the hideous mugshots of these hideous people. New details. Okay, so we're going to get a little bit more in depth. According to the new affidavit, Beltran admitted meeting Botello in Deep Ellum and taking her to his home, where they had sex and fell asleep. Beltran told detectives he woke up and saw Dykes on top of Botello, holding a knife and making a stabbing motion with one hand while holding Botello's neck with her other hand. He said he pushed Dykes, knocking her and Botello to the floor, the affidavit says. Marano, Nina, then came into the room and shoved him out of the way, he said. Beltran said he left the room, got dressed, and fled the home, according to the affidavit. When he returned, the bedroom was spotless, and the woman told him everything had been taken care of, the affidavit says. Police wrote they think Marano and Dykes cleaned the crime of the scene and disposed of Botello's body, leading to the additional charges. Now, we got a little bit more to read, and there's actually some confirmation about Nina not being in custody anymore, being bonded out of custody. And what Charles is saying is probable. I'm not saying that he doesn't bear any responsibility. That's not what I'm saying at all. Don't take that with what I'm saying, please. But the GPS locations, it was said that Nina and Lisa were the ones that their GPS tracked down to where the body was disposed of, where Marisela was disposed of. And just the multiple people that I've spoken to, they said that he was never aggressive with women. He was a guy that just liked to go out and party, and he would meet girls and all that kind of stuff and take him back home. Again, I'm not saying he doesn't bear any responsibility because I don't know. We still don't know. But I definitely don't want it to be a thing where these two women snake their way out of this situation and try to, because they've been in the game of being an attorney and a paralegal, and they know some of the things here and there. I don't want them to snake their way out of this kind of responsibility and just point the finger at one person, because they all need to be held accountable. And that's why I'm like, maybe I need to do this video with regards to Nina, because she shouldn't be out. The bonds were set pretty high though. So let me get to the rest of the article. You guys comment down below. Let me know what you think about this whole situation with the three of these people and Nina getting out. So it says there's suspects connection unclear, which we've covered a lot of the connections here on the channel, and I've spoken to people personally. All three suspects have been extradited to Texas. Beltran and Dykes remain in custody at the Dallas County Jail, with bail set at $500,000 for Beltran and $600,000 for Dykes. Marano, who also had a bail of $600,000, bonded out of custody Thursday morning. So she's out. She bonded out, according to the Dallas County Sheriff Department. Authorities have not elaborated the relationship among the suspects, and Baston, the attorney for the woman, declined to describe how they knew one another. An affidavit lists the names of Lisa Beltran and Nina Beltran as aliases for the two women. Some of this basic information about Nina, we've already covered this, and if I do the bill thing, we'll get into it further. This is very basic. We've covered this a long time ago with Florida and New York, her practicing, and the New York City Housing Authority covered that a long time ago. Been there, done that. As far as it says, Dykes and Marano's criminal histories are limited to traffic infractions, public records show. Beltran was convicted of aggravated robbery in Travis County in 2007. Authorities said he pistol whipped a man after taking his wallet. He was sentenced to 10 years in prison, but a judge released him on probation after 4 months. And Beltran was found to have violated the terms of his probation in 2009 and was sentenced to 2.5 years in prison. And that's all I have for now. Thank you guys for all the support. Please hit the like button, subscribe, turn on the bell notifications, all notifications. And yeah, I'm going to be following the story. This story has been kind of time consuming. Rest in peace to Marisela. Condolences to the family. And it's just, I've said this a couple times, and even to people that I've spoken to personally on the phone, it's such a horrible thing that somebody, like an innocent person like Marisela, can just come by, no judgment, she was with Charles, and get entangled into these nutcases' lives, these losers' lives. I mean, you're just coming along, you have no idea. And the webs and entanglement of these people from all over. I mean, it goes back years and years and years. The Nina thing with Bill, that goes back 30, 40 plus years. Had she never been with Bill and Bill never put her through school, she probably would have never met Lisa. It's just this whole, it's not saying the situation couldn't have happened, because then that leaves Charles and Lisa. But it's like one of those things where you know how they say that, like, or in movies and stuff, like if you go back in time, don't touch anything, don't mess with anything, because that little one piece of thing that you change can just change everything. You know, it just kind of crazy. It kind of boggles your mind. Or even Marisela, had one thing been done differently, had just one thing that night, could have changed the outcome. Or this could have been somebody else. This could have been easily somebody else. I spoke to a guy that was staying with Lisa and Charles for a couple of months, I think he said, on the couch in the place, and he said he noticed some weird stuff going on in there, and he was freaked out. And one night he thought that they put something in his drink, and he was feeling all kind of funny and weird. And Nina and Lisa are not these two innocent women that were somehow forced into some sort of situation. The story that Charles is telling, while it's possible, I don't know, it looks bad that you were on the run as well all this time instead of coming forward and saying what happened. It would have looked so much better had you done that and told your story ahead of time, but you didn't. So that doesn't look good. These people turning on each other, that's a good thing. Because we'll get bits and pieces of the truth, and maybe some things that aren't so true. It's a good thing. It's just mind-boggling to me. Mind-boggling. I did one night where I was just searching and researching pictures of these people. By the way, Charles, he's a father. I know he has at least 2 kids with 2 different mothers. I heard he may have a third one. Nina and Lisa, I don't know what it was. They were trying to get custody of at least one of his kids. Him knowingly, after Marisela passed, they sent legal papers and documents to one of the mothers, at least, of his kids. I don't know what these people were planning. Were they planning to go on the run? Were they planning to leave the country? Out of nowhere, I was told that supposedly this guy never really paid child support. I think it was $6,000 or $7,000 was deposited into the account. I think in increments of $1,000 for the child support. I don't know what their plan was with his kid, because I heard Nina she's always wanted to have a child, and she couldn't have it with Bill because Bill had a vasectomy, and I don't know what type of thing was going on with that. Another little tidbit and detail that I'll put out there. Charles, October 5th, the night where all this stuff happened with Marisela, the night where she was in that home and these people did what they did. At 3 a.m, I hear that Charles texted his daughter, "Happy birthday." I don't know what that means, because his daughter, he bought her a cell phone. That morning, that night, when the thing with Marisela happened, he sends a happy birthday text to his daughter. So there's just been a lot of different things, weird stuff, and I guess I'll leave it at that. Thank you guys for all the support. Take care of yourselves, and peace.